What's good, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the What's Good Games podcast here at Summer Game Fest Playdays 2024. I am one of your hosts, Andrea Renee, joined by Miss Brittany Brombacher.
Hello.
Mrs. Rihanna Manuel-Peña.
Hello out there.
And very special guest, founder and CEO of Rowdy Skeleton, Ashley Esqueda is here.
Hello.
Hey. I'm so glad that you could join us for this episode, Ashley.
Me too. It was a very last minute decision. I just want to say really quick for everybody watching, this woman works so hard on this.
What?
And so you better appreciate every second of what you're hearing and seeing right now. Like,
Listen, I'm
literally the hardest working woman I've ever met in my life.
That's very kind of you. I'm just crossing everything that there's literally zero technical problems. We've been plagued by tech issues the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, enough about that. It has been an incredibly busy week here at Summer of Gaming, Summer Game Fest, Xbox Game Showcase, Ubisoft Forward, all of the things have been happening.
Yes.
How has your feeling been, ladies, about what you've seen so far? Rihanna, any high-level thoughts about just the event itself?
I think the event is, once again, run really well. I really love coming out to Summer Game Fest and having access to food and water and bathrooms and
Seating.
Seats. Everywhere you go, you can sit down. And it sounds silly, but honestly, as a pregnant woman last year, as a postpartum woman this year, it matters, and it makes it a lot easier to get through a lot of games and a lot of conversations and a lot of hugs and oh my God, good to see you, I gotta run. You're just so busy, it's easy to forget to take care of yourself and to do those bio requirements. And
yeah,
true.
It's very well organized here, and you can clearly find what you need to find. I haven't gotten completely lost for any appointments. I think they've done a great job.
Yeah, I am 8-bit, crushing it
Shout
as
out.
always.
Shout out.
Brittany, you've had a lot of grunting moments over the last 3 days.
Oh, my voice and throat is raw from gruntage.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously everything you said, Ree, totally accurate. But I think for me, too, what was surprising is going into this, maybe a couple months ago when we started booking appointments, I was like, it's going to be kind of a slower summer game fest in terms of the amount of games or whatever. But in the past few weeks, my schedule, this is one of the most hyped schedules I think I've ever had. And that even includes, all the years I did E3. The stuff here and the stuff behind closed doors that we can't even necessarily talk about yet is just, so insanely exciting.
Yes, there was one game under embargo last year, and almost everything is under embargo this year.
Yeah.
So a very different change in the type of coverage and the level of game that we have seen.
Yeah.
Ashley, you kind of have a little bit of a different role this year. You're seeing games, you're doing some business development, you're kind of like a lady about the festival.
Yeah,
You're looking
I like to
hot
call
as
it-
hell, too.
I like to call it
I mean, yes,
haunting.
outfit is fly.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, so I started a company and I was like, I have to not dress like a journalist anymore. I was like, people have to take me really seriously. But the fun thing about that is I get to make cool fits and stuff. So, but yeah, I like to haunt. I don't make a lot of appointments because I believe in the power of the serendipitous meetings. And
Yeah.
today, just like today, I
Yes.
ran into you and you were like, do you want to come to the party? That's why I don't make a lot of appointments. So I'm sorry to anybody who's annoyed at me for not making any appointments this year except for 2. But I ran into Andrea, and that's really what the game's all about for me. I just love running into all
running
my
into
friends.
Andrea.
I honestly, this, what a joy, an angel. I don't, you're like Charlie's Angels. It's insane.
Aw, we
The
love
best.
you. Ashley's
best.
Angels it is. We decided, since we're going to be doing a full podcast on all of the things we've seen, because we do have to mind these embargoes, we each are going to talk about our game of the show. The game that was most impactful, that either most impressed us, got us the most hype,
The most
and-
aroused.
or the most aroused.
Yes.
And Ashley, as our guest for the show, I would like you to kick things off.
Man, I gotta give it up. This is a franchise that I haven't experienced yet. I've never played an installment in it. I was so blown away by Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yes.
Unbelievably good. It hooked me. The demo they showed was so cool and so interesting, and I was like, I want to go hunt some fucking monsters. I was ready to get out there with this giant. He had the giant sword, and the mount was really cool.
Yeah, the secret.
The way that the environment interacts with everything, I was really blown away by it, and I had admittedly that was a blind spot for me. So to be able to go in and sit down and have this really cool demo that blew me away, that was that's the best part of coming to a show like this. Something blows your mind that you weren't expecting or that you didn't know about. And so for me, I mean, wow, what they showed was such an amazing thing. Like the map size, unbelievable.
Huge, yeah.
The whole entire like mission, because they're like, oh, we're gonna go hunt down this like apex monster, and they go out there, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be like they'll get one and then another one, another. No, this was a 25-minute long fight.
Yes.
25-minute long for one creature. And
What weapon were they using?
They had the big long sword, and then
Hell
they
yeah.
switched. Andrew, you were telling me like they changed some stuff up, like, and they've added some quality of life improvements.
Yeah, so, I mean, Monster Hunter known for these epic hunts where you have to do a lot of preparation before you go out. I did love that they took a moment at the top of the demo to show us the new cooking with the palicos and the
Did
meal
they make
preparation.
the steak with the cheese?
The cheese, yes, the gooey
cheese
so
steak.
they grilled a steak. Have you played any of the Monster
Oh, yeah,
Hunter?
but-
So you know how, like, the food is really realistic looking? They had this big, fat, juicy piece of meat, and then there's, like, a cheesemonger in the village that they go into, and you can, like, buy cheese, and then you put the cheese on the steak, and you have, like, this, like, cheese steak, and then your character
custom
goes to take a
cutscene.
bite, and there's, like, a string of melted cheese as
Yeah.
you're, like,
String?
putting it, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
It was literally perfect in every way. It was a custom cutscene specific to the recipe they made, which was like, that blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, it's gonna be like that for all the food. I wanna cook everything like that. But it was like, the steaks look really delicious. I love when game food looks really good.
Yeah.
Yes, Monster Hunter has really excelled at that. And what Ashley was alluding to with the weapons is that for the first time, when you take your mount out, you could actually stow a second weapon on your mount. So when you're in the middle of a fight, you can hot swap the weapons, which Monster Hunter has never done before.
That's amazing.
Nice
It
improvement.
was insane. Also, we had the privilege of watching one of the leads of the team do the demo, and so he was playing masterfully, of course. But I was
He was
mentioning
really
to
good.
Ashley, it was so nice that it was a live demo because he actually died in our demo and had to go
Hell
back
yeah.
to camp.
He almost died in ours. It was very close. The predator, or the animal that he was like hunting down, kept having its buddies show up and like just like beating his ass. Like,
Yeah, I think it was I think it was called a Jushogama.
Yeah.
It was this like big bull, like bison-looking kind of
Yeah.
creature. And the thing that we're really showcasing here at the demo today was the storm mechanic, which is new.
Gorgeous.
So there's this persistent storm that comes and go throughout the world. And when you are inside the storm, lighting change, wind change, the monsters change. You can call apex predators inside the storm that don't appear outside of the storm. And it kind of really changes the face of how you battle these monsters. And then after the storm, there's this period called the Greenery, where it's more lush, there's more plants, there's more vigor wasps, so when you're healing, there's more spots to heal. There's certain animals
Much
that only
friendlier
appear
place.
after the storm. And like that whole mechanic was just so incredible to watch. And I just, having spent, over 100 hours in Monster Hunter World and only just like really dabbled in the 3DS Monster Hunters, I was just like, I was all in. It looks gorgeous. I want it now. But
I'm ready.
2025 is what they said.
Next year, we're gonna go out. Will you carry me?
I will absolutely carry
All right,
you.
I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna show up and show out and help you hunt some monsters.
As long as you do mind that I'm going to be doing like Andrea Renee menu fashion show.
I was gonna say, I'll make you some steaks.
I love that for us. I love that for
I'll
us.
be our personal chef. I'll be the roaming chef that comes with the Monster Hunters and is like, hello. I get really get distracted in open world games like that, and so that'll be my job. Like, I'll just be the cook. I'll be like, hey guys, I'm here at camp. I'd like to make you some fish. Would you like some fish sticks or maybe delicious steak? Maybe some scrambled eggs for your monster hunting. I'll stay here.
Say no more. You can be our master chef any day.
I'm so excited. Master Chef and Monster Hunter. Do no monster hunting, only cook. That's my plan.
Fantastic.
My turn.
What a great pick. Brittany is
I'm
champing.
dying. I'm dying over here.
Chomping at the bit to
I can
talk
feel the
about
heat coming off
her,
her body.
her game
That
of
ain't
the
heat.
show.
That's-
Okay, Brittany.
I
I
don't
think
know.
we all know what your game of the show is.
Okay, so Dragon Age the Veilguard, formerly known as Dragon Age Dreadwolf, this got a title change just a few days before the event because the focus is obviously on the asshole egghead Solus, aka the Dreadwolf, but also your 7 party members, or maybe it's like 7 people in total. Anyway, so we got a trailer at Xbox, and I went on a whole emotional journey, y'all. Like, emotional journey.
Good trailer.
Very good.
Was
See?
it?
I liked it. Did you not like it? It was not for you.
No, no.
You're like a super fan.
Here's what I'm going to say is that trailer, now that I've seen the game in action, did absolutely no justice what this
fair.
game looks like.
That's fair.
None whatsoever. And actually, like, after the trailer debuted, in the trailer for y'all like who haven't seen it, it looks like the way I described it is a character trailer for a hero shooter. It showed the companions of the Veilguard, which some really cool looking characters and everything, but we want to see the game in action. We want to see, like, what does everybody look like? What does Thetis look like? What does Tevinter look like? And none of that was shown off in the trailer. And the reaction from the community was not great. It was not great at all.
Interesting.
So I had talked to people, and they're like, oh, I promise you, people who had seen the game before me, they're like, oh, it looks so good, don't worry. I'm like, I don't know. I saw it, I cried in the theater presentation.
I love that moment for you.
It was a good demo. That was a good presentation.
And you were one of the ones that, like, saved me, because I saw you right before I saw the demo live. And you're like, just take a deep breath and prepare yourself for what you're about to see. And I did, and that saved me too. But
someone in ours like gasped, screamed.
I did that.
There was a scream scrumped, and it was intense. Like she was like like I mean it was a real moment.
So we can't get your full thoughts on the demo in this moment, but give me just a couple highlights from what you saw in the behind closed doors.
What can you talk about?
Everything. Okay, so it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely stunning. Visually, the textures on this game, and that's a big deal because I think that's why a lot of folks thought in the trailer it looked like a hero shooter is because it looked kind of smooth. Oh, no, it looks beautiful. It's like Inquisition 2.0, like obviously modernized.
Give it to me.
Very, very good. The combat is, very like real time, but you can pause it. And you can do all the strategic stuff, which is like very iconic for Dragon Age.
Great for parents.
You do have quick slots that you can use. But I think the thing that just like really sold me, I mean, not that I needed to be sold, was just those few minutes where you're in Minrathos, I think is what it's called, the Tevinter. And that's where the game takes place. And you're just walking around, and it's exactly how I envisioned it in my head. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's fucked up from all of the magic. You see some of your absolute favorite characters, which I'm not going to talk about right now. The acting, just everything is so well done, and I just cannot wait to just dive in. I want to motorboat the shit out of it.
Wow.
You did say aroused at the
I'm
beginning,
very
at the top
aroused.
of the show.
I know. I did get to talk or do a little bit of Q&A with the team because one of the questions I had is, are you going to implement Dragon Age Keep, which is the thing in Inquisition where you were able to build out your world of Thetis based off of the decisions you made in Dragon Age Origins and in Dragon Age 2.
Right.
They told me no, that this is a standalone experience. But then I saw something on the official channel that you will be able to customize your Inquisitor and bring them back in looking the way that they looked.
Ooh, so maybe
That's
just a
interesting.
cosmetic thing,
Maybe
but
just
not
cosmetic.
like a narrative thing.
Well, the narrative thing, like they talked about how
Kinda
you
like
can
how you did
choose
Hawk.
your background,
Yeah.
and then all of the NPCs react to you and talk about things that you've done in your history, and they were like they all know who you've been, who you are, and then your choices about who you will be are all incorporated into how everybody like responds to you, which was amazing.
So like the only concern I kind of have with this so far though, and I'll deep dive all this in a later show, is there's so much story and lore in Dragon Age. That world that you've built is your unique world, and if you're not incorporating any of those past decisions,
That's
how is that going to feel like a bespoke experience? How is that going to feel like your experience? But like regardless of any of that, the game looks fucking incredible. I cried, I laughed, I squealed. Much of narrative choices were being made during the demo. I yelled out every single option, and thankfully the demoist was like going with my decision, so I got to live my best life. If anyone is listening to this and you were concerned based off the trailer you saw, do not be. This looks like this is going to be the best Dragon Age game ever, and like,
That's a ringing
Wow.
endorsement. Yeah.
oh my god.
Because Inquisition won a ton of Game of the Year awards.
Oh, speaking of Inquisition, thank you. That game had so much stuff to do, the hinterlands. Remember,
Yes.
that was always the running joke?
I felt like, you felt like you were done with the game, but you were like, oh shit, I'm just
You were
in
in
the
the beginning
hinterlands.
area, yeah. And I asked about that. I said, yo, there's been so much stuff. Like, there was so much stuff in that last game. Like, what have you learned from that? Because the feedback wasn't, like, overly positive. And they said, yes, we're making sure everything you do in this game does feel meaningful. This typical answer. I was like, well, there is side stuff to do, right? And they're like, yes, of course, there's lots of side stuff to do. But I'm hoping that a lot of that fat and blow is cut back. But oh, God.
I am so happy for you.
Oh, I'm so aroused.
And I'm so
No.
glad that it's looking good because BioWare really needs a win.
This looks like
They
it's
do.
going to be the win. Like,
Yes, I love that.
I can't even tell
You're
you how
feeling
happy I am.
bullish. You're feeling bullish.
Oh, yeah.
and fall 2024.
Fall 2024. when we saw that reveal date, I had to turn to Andrea. I'm like, did that say fall 2024?
Sure
I was
does.
in shock.
Rihanna's like, uh-huh.
Anyhow.
I've never played a Dragon Age, so this is all new to me.
Oh, it looks so good, y'all. So good.
I mean, all you need to know is it's got lots of good banging opportunities.
oh,
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looking
All
forward
right,
to that.
well, we look forward to more of your deep dive thoughts very,
There's
very
lots
soon.
of deep diving going
Your
on.
literal deep dive thoughts when
Well,
the game comes out.
Oh, I'm going to be
Correct.
diving so deep.
That's what's good games after dark. Okay, go ahead.
Brianna,
Yes.
what was your game of the show?
This may surprise a lot of people because, of course, we saw an incredible Xbox showcase this weekend. I would say the best that I've seen in person for sure.
And there are a lot of shooters here this weekend.
Many shooty mans.
Many shooting mans. My game of the show is Astro Bot.
Yes, I love this.
And I got to say, it's my number 2.
It's up there, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that we saw trailers for, that we saw hands off. Astrobot I played, and when you play that game, when you have the DualSense in your hand and you're tossing the bots in the air while you're collecting them, or you can like move it left and right to fly a plane, like it's a magical moment.
Yes.
And there really isn't any way to communicate that hands off or just a trailer. And so the Astrobot demo was quite vast. We saw pretty much how many levels there will be in the game. I'm assuming there might be more coming in a future date, but there's a lot to play there, and it's the best of any platformer that you could ask for. It's bright, it's colorful, it's fun, it's referential. It has the opportunity to save some of the bots that are skinned like different PlayStation characters. So you see Atreus, you see
Kratos,
a
yeah.
little Journey person. Like there's just so many like deep cuts for PlayStation fandom, and the platforming is perfect. It felt super snappy. The movement is really smooth. The enemies are delightful, and the boss fights are really complicated and pretty challenging, but still fun. Like I didn't feel punished. You respawn pretty quickly if you fall off the edge, and I don't know, it's just they nailed every single aspect to a platformer that I could ever want to see. And the fact that it's tied into this incredible controller, like it really is a set piece for the hardware as well. So it really impacted me.
Yeah.
When I held the controller for the first time, I told Brie, I said, this feels like when I played Spyro for the first time.
Wow.
That
Oh.
colorful sense of wonder where there's all these like, little areas you can go to and secrets you can find. And I mean, I was even like feeling it so much, I turned to the PR people. I'm like, I think you all have like the next greatest platformer on your hands here. Yeah, because I think it's all the tech demos they've done with like the haptic controls, that the controls are just tight. They're perfect, absolutely perfect. It's colorful. It makes you feel good when you play it. And we got to do those hard levels.
Yeah, there was some really challenging like platforming sequences that had some time mechanics in it, and they really like put every single input and threw it at you and said like, okay, you have to get perfect jumping, you have to get perfect spins, perfect attacks, you have perfect timing. And it rewarded you by, opening up an entirely new section of a map when you do it, and then you have to do it again. And the difficulty challenge, I think you even remarked about this when we were playing, it really ramped up in a very satisfying way, because the first opening level is fun, it's kind of like chill vibes.
You're
There's
just
some
finding the
secrets
bots
here and there,
Yeah.
that some cute little enemies, you're saving the bots. And then the next one's like, oh, this one's maybe a little harder. You're probably going to die a couple times, but it's no big deal. The third one is like, oh boy. Okay, like, did you actually learn anything? Because here we go. And it's a nice progression. It really, like, it leads you along, but it doesn't feel like it's holding your hand. And that's a really difficult balance to strike, especially with, like, really difficult platformers. But they let you discover whatever you want to discover. I didn't 100% every level, and I wanted to go back and play them again.
Yeah.
And I told the folks over at the Sony, be like, I could stay there all day.
Are they coming for Nintendo's money?
They are, 100%.
Oh, 100%.
And they have
Yeah.
it from me.
Yeah,
They have it.
It was such a whimsical moment when they released Astro Bot Rescue Mission when the PS5 first launched, and how
Yeah.
they used the DualSense. We've definitely been missing that platform moment from PlayStation. There hasn't been a new Knack game, which I know is kind of a running joke.
Ratchet.
We haven't seen anything from Media Molecule and Little Big Planet, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like Astro Bot is really filling that niche quite nicely for them.
Also, when you're playing the levels too, you get special abilities per level. So there was one where you had like a robo dog, and it gave you this boost, so you could just like mow
Was it
through
an
enemies.
Aibo?
Maybe.
It looks kind of like one.
Okay, I was
Okay.
gonna say, I mean, that would be an opportunity missed if they did.
There were
not.
like these gloves that you could use to punch things,
Oh,
and then there
cute.
was
little frog faces.
That-
that's what it was.
It was so cute.
Yeah.
that first PS5 Astro Bot, like thing, like packed in. had no right being as good as it was for for effectively what was like a tech demo for what was possible on the controller. And like I remember playing it and I platinumed it because I had so much fun playing it, and then to see that I was so happy to see that they were going to do another one. I was like, oh, yes, like, I love this. Like, I'm so glad they're going to make a new one. Like, I love this so much, and now I get to, like, enjoy it with my kid.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be perfect.
He's going to love it. Like, he loves robots, so I'm sure he'll love Astro Bot.
Yeah. It's such a great example of, like, a company leaning in to something that we liked and responded well to, and actually taking the feedback and listening and giving us more of what we want. And they went above and beyond what they could have done. They could have done a lot less, and it would have been successful. I think they really pushed the limit because you can feel how much they love this game.
Yeah.
And the
it's
character.
such a joy.
So
it's so cute.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My pick is probably not going to surprise most people. I have to go with Assassin's Creed Shadows.
No.
Listen, when we saw the reveal trailer for this, you and I were getting like the tingles.
Oh yeah.
Thinking like, is this the one? Is this the Assassin's Creed to rule them all? And while that is yet to be determined, what we saw behind closed doors at Ubisoft this weekend was incredibly exciting. And I am just like, I'm eager. It's been a while since I've really felt eager to play.
Are you an eager
Creed.
beaver?
I'm an eager beaver. So everyone who's seen any of the materials knows it's finally set in feudal Japan, a long requested setting for the fans of the franchise.
Great setting.
Great setting.
Very
For the
popular
first
this
time,
year.
they have a playable historical figure in Yasuke, so taking a real person and making the playable, and then you have your second protagonist in Nemoi, and the dynamic between them is so exciting. The idea that you get to play as like a brute force samurai, and then also as a super agile, nimble, assassin, shinobi is like just incredibly exciting because of how they're implementing it.
Yeah.
Because they're not just saying, oh, well, you have a heavy weapon or you have heavy armor. They really are leaning into the stealth mechanics in so many angles. And I love that because this is a stealth franchise that feels like it's trying to be too many different things. And I do appreciate that they went back to basics with Mirage last year.
Yeah.
But for me, it was an overcorrection in the RPG formula that I was enjoying. But I feel like this could finally hit the sweet spot. The thing I've been messaging to people who have also seen it is like, is this the next Black Flag? Is this the one that takes the throne from Black Flag?
Yeah.
It
That is
just
a high
might.
bar.
That's a question.
We didn't get to get hands-on with it, which was, obviously disappointing. I wanted to play, but we saw a very lengthy live gameplay demo. Some of the highlights were that they showed the same mission from the point of view of each of the different protagonists, because you're going to be able to choose who you want to bring into the missions. When you play as Yasuke, we entered this fortress. He can't scale the walls and go in all sneaky and use Eagle's vision to spot everybody.
He's too
He
thick.
literally has to go through the front door and like bang that shit down.
I was turning to Andrew. I'm like, this is how you ask Creed. That's
She
my
literally
style.
did. She's like, this is how it's done. And he's got this giant like bat weapon that's got spikes in it, and I'm like,
Oh.
oh
Me
my
and
god.
Brittany, we're Unga Bunga assassins. That's
Oh,
we just
yeah.
come in and just start whooping ass. That's immediate. I don't care if anyone knows I'm there.
Yes, and meanwhile, I'm like sneaky. I want to take everybody out without raising the alarm.
Same.
So I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of Nemoi, which is fine. She's great. But they're really leaning into, for her mechanics, using some different elements. For example, you can now take out light sources and use those shadows as stealth. They also have a seasonal system. In the winter, if there's no grass, you can't hide in it. In the summer, there's different kinds of bushes and things, and you can use those to your advantage. And just the way that they're really archetyping these two, I don't want to call them classes, but these two characters, but so authentically in the way that Ubisoft is so great at in this franchise. And the art looks gorgeous.
Oh, beautiful.
The way that they're doing mission design looks great. You can set up a crew. You can like send scouts ahead to get information about locations. There's so much coming that they're innovating on in the formula that I'm just like, I want it right now.
And the other thing, too, that you touched on this is how gorgeous this game is. Like, the demo opened up, and Yasuke's on his horse, and he's just, like, galloping through, and you're looking
Stunning.
around. There's, like, a random stream of water, like, off to the side. The cherry blossoms are, like, fluttering through. There was always some sort of particle going on that I had noticed. Maybe, like, the cherry blossoms were fluttering by, or the rain was falling, or the wind was blowing, or something. Like, the technical shenaniganry that's going on is so impressive, and it is just beautiful and stunning. And also as a melee main here, I'm very like appreciative that Yasuke exists as a class, air quotes here, because I think I'm more compelled to play now. I mean, I like trying to be stealthy. I'm just real bad at it.
Yeah.
But this way, I don't even have to because I physically can't.
That's me.
Because I can't.
I'm just so bad at it. I'm like, I get impatient.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to get to the killing. That's what I want.
Yes. Oh, there is killing.
Get right to the killing.
This is without a doubt the bloodiest Assassin's Creed that has ever been created. And a
I got
lot
a
of that
hype
is
train.
leaning into the samurai culture of like, I'm slicing the fucking head off my enemy. And there was just so much head separation in the
Curb stomping.
gameplay.
Put that on the box. Much
Like,
head separation.
A lot of head separation. A
Top
lot of
tier,
heads are
S-tier
rolling.
Head rolling.
So it was graphic. This is a mature ass game.
I like a visceral assassin. I mean, if it's an assassin's game, it's like it should be visceral. It should be brutal. So that's the world that it exists in. So I like that. I'm glad to hear that.
There's also this moment where Yasuke was about to get ambushed by like a bad guy or whatever, and Naoi just came out of nowhere. Like she jumped up and she assassinated the guy, and he kind of looked at her and he goes, "I was going to take care of that." And it was like a little moment, but I loved it because I hope that we get to see more of that kind of banter between the two characters because they're so different. But I think that could set up for some really interesting character interaction.
It's a good buddy cop.
Yeah.
Buddy cop assassin's game. I like it.
I'm so excited.
Her response was really, really clever too. She's like, "You were too slow."
Yeah.
Oh, I get it, because he's the big slow guy and you're the fast little girl. I get it.
Well,
Like,
and
it was
she's
great.
her movement is so acrobatic.
Yeah.
And she has this specialty weapon. It's basically like a chain that's got like a hook on the end and like a ball on the end, like a metal
Grapple.
ball. And so she can use it to do non-lethal takedowns, which is awesome. She could also use it to grapple. She can use it to swing. And then when she's in combat, it's super important for her to do more dodging and parrying because she doesn't have the tanky health that Yasuke does and doesn't have the armor that he does. And for the first time, it feels like these two characters have a fundamentally different playstyle. And now Syndicate was the last game where they really kind of explored having these dual protagonists that kind of were different, but they were really fundamentally the same in a combat sense. Here they feel like very markedly different, and I find that incredibly exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. I like that. It makes me, much like Brittany, it makes me more compelled to like want to try it. Because then it's like if I don't like the stealth stuff, at least there's another option.
Yes.
The right option.
Correct one, which is to just run in and yell, "I'm here, bitches!"
You can absolutely do that. In fact, you are compelled if you're playing as Yasuke. But we saw so many other incredible games that we're excited to talk to you guys about and give you more details on. Ashley had a fun idea of us each picking a single game that we are excited or interested in and only saying the title and saying nothing else. Do you think you can pick a game?
I have lots of games.
Ashley, what is yours?
Phoenix Springs. Phoenix Springs.
Oh.
Lego Horizons, or Lego Horizon, whatever the fuck it's called.
Horizon Adventures.
Thank you.
Yeah.
PR rep Rihanna.
I've seen too many games. I can't keep track.
Guys, we've been at the JW every night, and we're tired.
Yeah.
It's like 4 days in.
We're
We forget
professionals, right?
Everything's melting together at this point, including our bodies. And
It's
so
true.
it's just...
I mean, you
get-
can hear
gotta
that my
forgive
voice
us.
went 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Let me get the name of mine right. Go
Okay,
first.
mine is the one that we're just conveniently sitting in front of, Battle Aces.
Oh. I can't say anything about it.
We'll talk about it,
Look it
but
up.
not right now.
Go to the website.
All right, mine is called Death Sprint.
Oh, I saw you playing that.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you did. You saw me playing
We have
it.
thoughts about all of these things, and we will tell you more about them later.
Yes.
But we are going to end this special episode from the floor of Summer Game Fest Playdays. A huge thank you to the entire team that puts this event on, Jeff Keeley and his team at Summer Game Fest.
Amazing.
I am 8-Bit and their team, 47 Communications, and all of the individual PR and marketing groups that come show their games and the teams that are here. It's been so great talking to developers.
Yeah.
Hearing the passion, reminding ourselves, like, this industry is great. We've had a tumultuous year, but there's still so many teams doing so much cool stuff, and I hope that that positivity and creativity is the impression that everyone's left with and not the bad stuff.
Here, here.
Yeah. Amen.
Any parting thoughts?
Metaphor refantasio. That's all I can say.
Oh, yes, we're definitely going to get Brittany's thoughts on that one.
So grunt worthy.
Ashley, thank you so much for joining us and taking time out of your day here. If people want to follow all of your shenanigans, where's a good place to do that?
I mean, I'm on the internet. I'm at Ashley Esqueda on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at Ms. Ashley Esqueda because I'm an idiot and deleted my my Instagram account like 10 years ago, and they won't give me my username back. And then if you need any media coaching or on-camera talent training, you can go to rowdyskeleton.com.
rowdyskeleton.com. We'll put those links in the show notes for you guys, and we'll see you on our full Summer Game Fest Play Days recap episode. Bye.